Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I'm Holly and Jazzy the dog is joining me again today. So today I wanted to talk to you about 5 things that I have learned in my first almost full year of homeschool. Today I wanted to share, so we are officially in springtime. I'm not sure when this video is going to go out, either March or April, and we are not quite 3/4 of the way through the school year. And I'll be honest, it's been quite the adventure in so many ways. But I wanted to talk about, I was hoping to do more homeschool videos, but to be honest, I've just been busy. And to be honest, I don't know if people really want to hear it, but I feel like this is something that I searched for a lot when I was learning how to homeschool. And so I thought maybe it would be helpful to other people. So I want to talk about 5 things that I kind of learned as we're completing our first year of homeschool. So number 1 is it's an adjustment. It's okay to take time or it's okay for it to take time to get into a routine. I think a lot of people suggested, and I guess I did not take this advice as much as maybe I should have, but they talk about deschooling or even unschooling for a few months to kind of get used to how homeschool does not always look like school. And we did this, it was probably in July. We decided that we were probably going to homeschool with all the COVID craziness going on, and I just didn't feel comfortable sending my kids back to public school. And there's other reasons too, which I might get into later, but that was one of the bigger ones. But it was a lot. So rewind. In July, we decided, and long story short, we just felt like it was the right thing to do and for our family and whatnot. So we ended up going to IKEA, getting some desks for the kids, and I kind of set up a little homeschool area upstairs in our bonus room. And honestly, we haven't used it a whole lot. We did use it a little bit more in the beginning. And to be honest, I'm trying to get back to using it again. They did use it again today. So I'm hoping by the end of the school year, we'll be up there and doing it more often. I think what kind of made us not do it as much is I have a little one. She is 11 months now. My word, time is flying. And she is, obviously, it was easier for me to nurse her downstairs on the couch because, when babies are little, because she was, 3 or 4 months whenever we started homeschool. So there's a lot of nursing on the couch. So it just became easier. And then we just kind of got into the habit of doing it downstairs on our kitchen table. So that is to say that you don't need a big fancy homeschool room, but I kind of feel like it took a long time before we got into a routine, and there's still days that I feel very out of routine. I think things are starting to open up here, which is great. So we're actually joining a co-op for the first time. So I'm going to have lots of stories about that. I'm kind of excited about it. So I think that's kind of changing how things are going to be done, and it'll give me a little bit more routine. But just know it's an adjustment. It's definitely a lot harder in some ways than I thought it was going to be, but in other ways I think it's easier, if that makes sense. Number 2, when in doubt, stick to the basics. So I got Bible curriculum, Spanish curriculum, plus, math, science, history, language arts, which is spelling, writing. And then I also have handwriting too, in a separate book. And I was so overwhelmed with all of it. So we ended up dropping the Bible class, and we ended up dropping Spanish because they don't need to take it yet. So we've just been doing basically math, language arts, and I've been doing handwriting more now, but in the beginning we weren't really doing handwriting because they were doing some of it in their language arts. So, and then we would do history 3 days a week and then science 2 days a week. So we were still getting through the curriculum, but it wasn't everything on one day because that was just way too much. And even though most of the lessons were 20 to 30 minutes, you'd have kids, and it's I pretty much have to, because I have a first grader and a second grader, so I pretty much have to go through everything with them. And of course we did science and history together, and that worked out pretty well. But when they're doing their workbook stuff and their science, it's kind of hard to I have to sit there kind of with both of them individually and make sure that they're getting their questions answered and stuff. So it was, I felt like bringing it all back and just doing the basics of what they needed, you know, the reading, writing, and we watched documentaries on like, and then we talked about the holidays and stuff to do some like social studies here and there to kind of get the majority of what they need, but without like, you know, you don't need a curriculum for every single thing, I guess is what I found. So, number three, it's okay to take a break. I've probably, we've taken, we took a break right after Thanksgiving because I was really struggling. We were having a lot of time, a lot of hard times kind of getting, I felt like kids were fighting me on school. And it's funny because it's like one day one kid would be fighting and then the next day the other kid. And it was rough. And I think, unfortunately, with not being able to do a whole lot and things just continuing to be, you know, locked down. Sorry, my hair is like locked down for the most part. It was really hard because I felt like we were bored, we were stir crazy, and the kids were just dealing with their own stuff. You know, sometimes we don't realize that kids have issues too. So we took a break. We actually ended up going back to visit some family for a kind of Christmas holiday because we knew we wouldn't be able to go during Christmas time. And we felt like that time would be better to go before like it got busy and there was more people traveling and just more risk of whatever. So it's okay to take a break. And we've actually, we got another break built in the end of March, because I think this will come out probably around the time that we're taking our break. And I'm trying to do, I've seen a lot of people do too, like they will do 4-day school weeks. And we've actually started a co-op on Fridays now. So it's going to be 4 days of school. And then basically the co-op, they have their own classes. One's like a sciencey class. And then one of my kids has a dance class. And then one of my kids has like an art class. So, so that's going to be school on Friday. So I won't have to do anything except for I'm going to be actually a hall monitor, which I'm kind of excited about because then I get to kind of like get my steps in every day because I get to walk the halls and help like, you know, taking kids to the bathroom and just kind of walking the halls and making sure everyone's in class. So it's okay to take a break. Number 4, it's okay to switch things up. So my first grader was really struggling with her reading, and I do plan to covering this with my review for The Good and the Beautiful. I feel like it jumped really quickly from K primer to level K, which is first grade level, which is kind of confusing, but that's how The Good and Beautiful goes. They're advanced. And she still is struggling. She's just kind of a slow reader. And so I decided to get the Hooked on Phonics program. And I ended up just getting the whole program because I have 2 other kids that are younger than her that'll go through it as well. And we are just starting with the basics because she was actually in a dual language program in public school. And sometimes I feel like she kind of got half taught Spanish and English instead of like getting a good command of English. And so we're going back to the basics with her. And you know what? If it takes her a little bit longer to read, that's fine. I guess that's the nice thing about being flexible with homeschool. And so, like, it's okay if things, like, if your curriculum isn't working, it's okay to switch it up. It's okay to take a break. I mean, I've noticed I've been able to find a lot of free stuff or relatively inexpensive things on the internet that you can do to kind of help supplement your kids' curriculum if you feel like they're falling behind on certain things. But I would say, like, and it's so hard because there's so much curriculum out there. And I'm actually going through this, and I think I'm going to, before I buy any curriculum for next year, I think I'm going to go through the like quizzes and read, and I'm going to do a lot more research on what kinds of curriculum are out there, and also kind of really key in on what my kids' learning styles are, because I feel like it's so nice that there is so much curriculum because whatever learning style your kid has, you can use it. But it's also hard because sometimes I feel like you need to, I need to like do what's best for my kid, not maybe what I like. I might like a curriculum, but they may not like it so much. And so I need to be more in tune with what they need, I guess. Does that make sense? So my 5th thing is it is a constant learning experience. I have found that I have been feeling like I feel like I'm constantly having to readjust how I'm doing things. Now, part of it is I have a toddler, or soon to be preschooler, soon to be 3-year-old, and a soon to be 1-year-old. And I think that has made things a little bit harder for me to be able to kind of sit and give the attention to my older 2 that I feel like I need to. But as of right now, we're planning on homeschooling next year because I feel like there's too many benefits that I have found for our family that I just don't feel like they would be as well served in a public school setting because we don't have the funds to send them to private school. I feel like that's kind of the next option, but it's just probably not going to happen. So, but I do find myself constantly learning. In some ways, it's a challenge, and I love challenges. It's been kind of, I feel like I have a purpose in some sense. It's been very, I don't know. It's been very like it's been good. Like it's been learning for me and kind of learning how like I've been learning how to kind of be a better parent and teacher, but it's also been like tough in so many ways too. So I hope that was helpful. I know that everyone has their own experience with it. That's just been mine. I hope that these give you food for thought if you're thinking about it, or if you are homeschooling and you're kind of curious about how things are going for other people. Here you go. So thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you all next time.